Hey, this is Kristen with Collision Hub, and we are live on the NACE Cars show floor for ASRW 2011 in Orlando, Florida. And I got to tell you, Ron, it's a great show so far, and we didn't even open the doors yet.
I know, I love it. Look at all these people. Look at all this activity. This is great.
I was excited. I was walking through yesterday during setup, and I saw some people I've never seen before. New vendors, new...
I think, 30–40% of the people will be here for the first time. I mean, it's crazy how many new faces. Wow.
Yeah, we're super excited about it. So tell us a little bit about what's going to happen this week, kind of a preview of what we can expect out of NACE.
Well, a lot of stuff has already happened. We started with a National Automotive Service Task Force meeting. We had an association best practices summit last night. We've got education all day today. And tonight we got the forums. It's just, nonstop all week, but the show is just going to be outstanding.
I'm looking around and we can just see some of the banners and some things that are setting up here. We've got paint, we've got equipment, we've got software, we've got just about everything that you can put in your collision repair facility is going to be here on the floor for everybody to kind of, I guess, select and shop and play with, so to speak.
Absolutely. It's like a supermarket for collision repair and mechanical repair shops. It's just amazing, all the different vendors. The great thing about NACE and cars over the years is that essentially the same number of vendors come every year because they just understand the value.
Right, there's so much to do. Let's talk a little bit about, we got a lot of people that I meet that say, look, I'm not looking for any new equipment, I've got everything I need for my shop. What's the reason I would still go if I'm not shopping?
Oh, even if you're not shopping and you don't need any equipment, you're learning about new techniques, you're learning about where the industry is going. You're networking with other movers and shakers in the industry. You're learning all week long. If you don't come out of this event with something new to take back to the shop and improve your process, improve your position in the marketplace, you're not watching, you're not listening.
Right. Now, one of the things that ASA's launched this year as part of the show is the MSO Forum, or the MSO Symposium.
The MSO Symposium, absolutely, yeah. This is something that we've been talking about. We got some great leadership in our organization, and we picked up on the idea that there was some content that we needed to present to those folks that are in multiple shop operations today. Several of our leaders in our organization are multiple shop owners. So, we decided to reach out, get some of the best facilitators and some of the best content providers we could, and we're putting on an awesome symposium. We were shocked. The take-up on this thing has just been way beyond our expectations. It's sold out. We actually had to bring in some additional chairs. I think we're got like 130 individual shops coming in for this thing. I mean, individual shop owners coming in for this thing. I don't know how many shops that represents, but it's huge.
Right. And the great thing about it is, I noticed I was looking at the curriculum last night. I was kind of going through and getting my bearings for the day. And there's a lot in there that is about growth, where I think there's a misconception that when I'm an MSO, I already kind of know how to grow. But if you're a small shop even thinking about growth, thinking about that second, third, fourth location, this was the perfect symposium for you because it's going to walk you through how do I profit and grow.
Exactly right. The content is all aimed at growth because the assumption is that the economy's struggling and maybe there's no opportunity anymore. And actually that's exactly the opposite. When the economy's down, there's lots of opportunities. Some of our leaders, for example, have shared with us that right now they're being able to acquire new properties at a time when everybody else is kind of shrinking or maybe don't have the appetite to grow. But we've got financial content, we've got capital market people here that are going to be able to share with these attendees how they position themselves to acquire new locations. That's pretty awesome.
And I think that's a great point to make. When you come to NACE and you come to cars, you not only get to see the equipment, but there are banking and there are facility people here that are talking about how to get equipment loans and how to grow your business. So anything you really need from your financing to your paint, it's here for you.
Absolutely. We have a relationship with a federal credit union, the ASA Federal Credit Union. You can lease equipment. You can get excellent rates on financing right now. And this is a time when other people are just sort of pulling back. If you're an aggressive operator and you really want to grow, this is the time to take a look. and take advantage of what's out there. It's just awesome.
Right. Now, the other thing that ASA and ASRW has that's really unique is the forums. That'll start tonight.
Yes.
So we're really excited about that. Let's talk about the forums and how that plays into the industry. And I know last year I was really impressed. There was 500 and something people in a room, and we're all talking about the same issue and how it affects the industry, which is amazing to get that many repairs in a room.
Sure.
And then to start thinking about conversations to move the industry forward. So what's up for the forums this year?
Well, the forum content is put together by our mechanical and our collision managers. These are folks that work for ASA that really have their fingers on the pulse of the industry. They deal with our mechanical and collision operators on a daily basis. So they're listening very carefully to what's on our members' minds, which obviously translate to the broader industry. So we're bringing in we've got some really good content this year. We're talking about topics like service information access and, you know, a view of the future in collision repair. That, you know, you got panelists that are just outstanding. You know, they understand the marketplace intimately, and these are folks that you'd pay a significant amount of money to go and access that information at a conference or a symposium.
Right.
And here, you know, you buy your super pass and you can get in.
Right. Well, speaking of a significant amount of money, you guys brought in probably one of the best keynote speakers I've seen on the list in a long, long time.
Right.
Everybody's talking social media and marketing and advertising. How do we do it? And you guys went out and grabbed the top dog in the industry, and he's going to do the keynote tomorrow.
Right.
Was that a reflection of what the membership had been asking for?
Yeah, you know, traditionally at NACE and ASRW, now that we've combined the other shows under this one roof, it's really interesting. We had I guess, you know, an expectation that we would have a celebrity or a political figure, and we got really good results and a lot of positive feedback over the years for the quality of the keynotes that we presented. We had people, you know, would just, you know, they would remark that they would never have had a chance to see, you know, President George Bush in person make a presentation. For example, Rudy Giuliani or somebody like a sports figure like Troy Aikman or Kyle Petty. But, you know, what we started hearing from the members and the industry at large is we need more business content. We need more, you know, stuff we can take away, go back to the shop, and put into practice.
Right.
So last year we had Kelly McDonald, who I'd known through a previous experience where she had done some work for ASA, and our partners at DuPont, you know, said, well, you know, we're kind of used to having these high-profile celebrities, and we said, well, why don't you give Kelly a shot? They worked with us and took a risk and said, you know what, she's dynamic, she's going to be terrific, and she came and she did her whole thing on how to market to people not like you. Now she's got her book out.
Right.
She's become, you know, much more visible in the marketplace as a marketing guru, and quite frankly, that broke the ice. So when we were talking about someone for this year, we had to top that, and it had to be really, really powerful. And Chris Brogan is a name that, you know, in the social media world, he's going to rock these folks' socks off. You know, it's going to be amazing.
Well, I think you can't consider yourself a social media marketer and not have read or been influenced by Chris Brogan. So I know, like myself, since we kind of focus on social media,
sure,
I'm super excited about him, and I never would have had a chance to hear him if it hadn't been for this. So,
and you know, you got to thank people like DuPont for stepping up every year and saying, you know what, let's work together on this. You know, it's a collaboration that we've been fortunate to create over time, where we trust one another. They know we're not going to bring something into the mix that's not going to have value, and they get a big bang for their buck. And obviously, we appreciate everything they do for us.
Yeah. So let's go through Ron Pyle's hot list for NACE 2011. What are some things between now and Saturday that are not misses that the industry has to capture?
Well, I think the forums are really, you know, obviously the education conference is going on today, and this afternoon the forums will begin, and of course they're going to be dynamic and really important. One thing that I think is really unique this year, I've always known that there are a lot of ancillary meetings that take place at NACE and CARS where various vendors and exhibitors and our own members, for example, and other industry participants have sidebar meetings.
Right, we're always up in the suites.
Yeah, go to the suite at the hotel, and
yeah.
You've got that additional expense, and you're taking people off the show floor for at least some significant period of time. Well, CCC stepped up this year and said, we want to create the NACE network. We want to have a place adjacent to the show floor where people can come in for free and reserve a place to have a meeting. And it can be, 5 or 6 people up to, maybe 100 people. So it's an awesome, additional opportunity for people to network. And one of the things we hear consistently from ASRW attendees is that one of the most significant values of being here is the networking with their peers. So we try to add as much networking as we possibly can. So we'll have networking on the show floor. There's various education opportunities on the show floor. And then, we're going to have a town hall about healthcare. One thing that I know that we've somewhat missed over the years is the fact that we really serve the small business community in the automotive market, right? Mm-hmm. And but when we're here, it's all about the commercial aspects. But these folks have to go back to their shops, and they got to manage the HR. They got to manage, the opening and closing of that shop on a daily basis, and it's a significant responsibility beyond, what you see here at the show and what is somewhat, the glamorous part of the business. But they got to go back and deal with those really tough operational issues. So we're going to bring them some content on healthcare reform. We're going to talk about the kind of the decisions they're going to have to make as small business owners, and we hope that has a lot of value for them. And we want to really broaden the scope of the show and make it more about, I guess I'll put it this way. It's small business thriving in a climate where a lot of folks would be uncertain under normal circumstances.
Right.
If they come here, they're going to get some confidence that they can go back and not only survive, but actually thrive.
Right. And that's the thing. I always get a lot of comments from kids either in the tech school or people that have been technicians for a while going, I really want to start my own shop. I'm really good at cars. And I always tell them, well, I was pretty good at cars. But there's a lot more to running a business than just being able to fix the car. There's all the stuff that goes on around it, and that's one of the things that ASA does so well for its members is you guys have a whole suite of support services from the banking to the human resources to marketing, so that you really help that shop go beyond fixing the car, kind of become their business partner in a way.
Yeah, our watchword this year, Kristen, has been, we have to be relevant. And relevancy can only be measured by that individual who's, buying the service, buying the equipment, buying the tools. If you're not relevant to them on their own terms, you're no longer a necessary part of the marketplace.
Right.
So the association has to look at that as well, and we have to provide the kind of services that are meaningful to them right now. It can't be what we traditionally offered just because we're good at it and get comfortable with it. It's got to be what's necessary today. And there's a lot of things that have changed in the marketplace just in the last few years, and that rate of change is becoming exponential. Mm-hmm. So this show has got to reflect that. It can't be static. It can't remain the same. It's got to change as well, and it has. And I think that's the thing that some folks who were expecting the traditional NACE or cars experience, sometimes they get a little put off because they go, well, it used to be like this. And I'm going, yeah, but the industry used to be like that.
Yeah.
And now the industry has changed. So we have to respond to that, and I think we're doing it in a proactive way to remain relevant.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm excited about the show. I mean, the show looks great. I'm seeing people I've never seen before. I've seen a pretty good crowd this morning already, so I know we're going to have this place packed out tomorrow when we open those doors after that keynote is finished. So I would say congratulations on what I already know is going to be a super successful show. And we're going to let you get out of here. I know you've got a show to run, and I've got to get to the industry forum, so we'll be up there at 4:30. So stay tuned to Collision Hub for the rest of the week. We'll be live on and off from the show floor. We're going to visit with some of the vendors that are here, some people that you've probably never seen before either, show you their products and services and how they can help you grow your business in the last quarter of 2011 and take you to greatness in 2012. Thanks.